2nd June 1986, Diego Maradona brilliantly gets away from Peter Reid, escapes from Terry Butcher. He has also won the challenge from Fennick, outsmarts the goalkeeper Peter Shilton and scores! What a wonderful goal for Argentina! Surely one of the greatest goals in FIFA World Cup history. Only one man could have done it, and it's none other than the captain of the Argentinian team, Diego Armando Maradona. In this match itself, if the first goal was in doubt, then the second goal, there's absolutely no doubt about it. A fantastic goal that we have seen in this World Cup, and surely will go down as one of the greatest in history. This is, I'm talking about none other Diego Armando Maradona, who is no longer with us, but his spirit, his skills and his memories will always be alive in the world of football. He's the man who had done everything his way. The man, Diego Maradona himself, lived vida loca. They used to call him the angel as well as the devil, not only on the field but also off the field with many of his exploits. But one thing is for sure, he has given us many iconic moments in the world of football, not only in Argentina but around the world. He became the youngest ever player for Argentina at the age of 15. I mean, in the first division there, which is still a record of sorts. He played for the Argentinos Juniors and then went on to play for Boca Juniors and of course Napoli and Barcelona. And he has had an influence over the world of football right across the world. And we have our former national captain Brahmanan Shankwalkar, who has had a stellar career of 25 years and more in football. He's another person who admires Diego Maradona and had this to say when we asked him for his reaction.
Hello.
Hi, Brahmanan.
Yes.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Brahmanan, just give me 1 minute reaction to your memories of Diego Maradona.
Okay. Can I start?
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved him so much. He's like footballer after many years. Of course, Pele was different footballer with a different type of game. Maradona had got the world with him. And always, because 86 World Cup, one of the matches, not against England, some other match, earlier match. I ran inside quickly to get. I think they were down by goal or something. But when my brother shouted from the hall, "Maradona goal marlo," I ran from inside, but you know what happened? We had enough height for the doors, but one of the hall newly which they had built, they raised the alamuri, it was short. I hit my head on the top.
Oh God.
I came running to see, holding my hand on the head and paining and watching the TV, Maradona slow motion, because I missed the live goal of that. Okay? I still remember that part. But for me, Maradona is something. Another day when we went to movie in Porvorim, I think during the lockdown or just beginning of the lockdown, movie was screened at Mall Goa, Porvorim. And I thought I will not get a ticket. I called my friend Hillary, and this was my dental college goalkeeper partnering me. I called Hillary. I said, please, you are in Porvorim, just get me a ticket. Let's go and watch this Maradona movie. And you won't believe I brought Alan Disa, ex-ST. He was my classmate. 3 of us, we went for a movie. I tell you, there was none in the movie. I thought I will not get a ticket. I said, tell the theatre fellow to get some guest passes. 3 of us are watching the movie. I tell you, tears flowed down. And certain incidents of Maradona, because the childhood
memories,
Maradona, memories, and in the movie that all the slums, from there he grew up, then finally how he met accidentally the different people in his life, and we were a hero at Napoli. Napoli, right?
Yeah.
Yes. At Napoli, you know, that life, the entire thing. And I was lost I was merged in the movie. So much merged in the movie, I'm not bothered about whether the crowd or not. I enjoyed the true life of Maradona. And I was shocked to see why people must have already seen for some days earlier, and I was the last. But luckily, I think the movie was meant for 3 of us.
Yeah. Another thing is in the 80s when Maradona was at his peak, Even the Goan state team and so many of you were at the peak of your careers. So, would you say that he is one player that who was an inspiration to many of you, including the midfielders and forwards?
Almost everyone should be. Everyone should be, because there was none other than Maradona. That era of football. Yes.
Brahmanand Sankwalkar, former India captain and international, speaking to us.
All right, with us, joining us on the show is Sigmund D'Souza, senior journalist, but in the mid-80s he was a budding singer-songwriter and a budding journalist as well, who also was a great football fan and still is. So Sigmund, tell us your reaction to the departure, at least in body, of Diego Maradona.
Very sad, in a sense that, he achieved what he had to achieve. So, but it's very sad, news that someone like him is not going to be around anymore, because every time we saw him on TV screens around the world, you got to tell the younger people around you, this guy, he was a real killer on the field, and he was an artist with the ball. So, in that sense, it's very sad. But what he has achieved from that World Cup in 1986 right up to the time he was even manager of Argentina in 2010, I think is there on record and it will remain. The videos speak for themselves. That beautiful goal in the 1986 final, the second goal. The first was the hand of God goal. Till today, I'm amazed with that goal, to how he, sort of shielded the view of the referee and scored that goal over the goalkeeper. Mm-hmm. And so the referee could not call it a foul, while the England players were totally belligerent about it. But then he showed his artistry in the second goal that he scored from 60 yards. That goal was really something, and silenced everybody. If anybody had any doubt about his prowess on the field, that goal, they called it the goal of the century. They refer to it as the goal. So you had the hand of God goal, and then you had the goal of the century. So that was Diego Maradona's personality. He had these two sides. One newspaper wrote about it. They said he's got a bit of the devil in him and a bit of an angel in him. Yeah.
Sigmund, in the mid-80s, television, of course, was an exciting new phenomenon for all of us.
It just came into Goa at that time. Television had just come into Goa in the mid-80s.
Yeah. So you must have surely bunked many classes or stayed away from studies to watch many matches featuring Maradona. What are your memories?
Fortunately for us, the football matches usually were after school hours because of the European time. There's the time lag, America and Europe and even South America, and So fortunately, we didn't have to bunk school, but maybe homework, yes. Watching late night matches. But then, the passion in Goa about football is so strong that even our parents didn't mind us watching those matches. The entire neighborhood, all my friends would be, we would go. Everybody didn't have TV sets. You remember in those times, few houses had TV sets. Yeah. And so we would go to a neighbor's house and all of us would sit there and watch the match together.
It was sort of shared viewing, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember, the picture of Maradona cutting through rival defenses, just for me it was a fascinating thing, because we had never seen that level of football before in Goa. I had not seen, I didn't grow up watching, a lot of international football. So to see that on a TV screen, where this guy, small, diminutive chap, but, all muscle, and cutting through the defenses, and I still remember how they used to keep kicking him down. Every few yards, somebody would trip him and throw him down. The entire rival team was gunning for this one guy, and yet he managed to perform. He managed to score those goals. It was what an amazing talent that he had.
Yeah.
Well, that's singer-songwriter and senior journalist Sigmund there with his views on the passing of Diego Maradona. 33 minutes into Sportingly Yours. This is a tribute to the legend, the football legend, Diego Maradona.
Yeah, and latching on to that, I must tell you that when he reached
Napoli to play in the Italian league. The Italian league is made up of this northern and southern rivalries, and the northern teams like AC Milan and Juventus are sort of the richer clubs and the more stronger clubs. But Napoli was that southern club which had Maradona come into their ranks, and he transformed that club in such a way and took them to the limit, winning Serie A titles and so many other achievements for them. And in fact, since the time he left, Napoli have never got back to that level again. Yeah. I mean, that was the impact that Diego Maradona had in Napoli. And many people say that it's there, unfortunately, that he also got into this drug thing and never got out of it as well.
Yeah, I think when sometimes players or personalities, when they are in these places, then they kind of get carried away by trying to be in that.
Absolutely, but the fact remains that Maradona has been an inspiration for footballers, men as well as women. And we spoke to Yolanda de Souza Cremamaya, who is synonymous with women's football in Goa, former international, and she was known as the hat-trick queen. So let's see what she has to say about Maradona.
Absolutely, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. Actually, yesterday when I heard the news, it was like a shock. Although he was living kind of, it is not an unexpected kind of a death, but still you expect it not to happen. Maradona was very, very special. I mean, his creative, ability was beyond compare. He was like a genius. He was an artist, I would imagine. It was easier to follow the footsteps of Pelé, but very difficult to try and, outdo or follow even Maradona in his way of playing, because he was too imaginative, the passes that he would give to his, his fellow players, teammates, was, I would think even they would, be surprised by it. That was his quality. And then, of course, he left everyone stranded on the way to get the goal, because that's the main thing. He always saw that his route to, or his way to the goal was complete, because he bit the players, but then he saw that the ball found the net, which is amazing. He was, what do you call a player like that? He was everything that one would dream to be, and he will always remain for everybody who saw him play, or even watches now from videos and whatever. He's one player that will live forever to his game.
We are still kind of reeling over the fact that we will be missing Diego Maradona. Now, if we quickly recap some of his outings at the World Cup, 4 World Cups that he played in, and so many, I think he had around 90 caps for Argentina he played, and surely a tremendous kind of influence for youngsters as well, like we've always been saying. Yes,
not only for youngsters, but for players who were inexperienced. He was sort of like the Pataudi, what Pataudi was for Indian cricket. Maradona was for the Argentinian football team. He really brought out the best in them, and that is what he showed in consecutive World Cups. Of course, 1986 has been called Maradona's World Cup because he was the man. He was the champion, and he took them to victory. But in 1990, most of the people had ruled him out, but somehow he maneuvered and charged his team towards the finals, only to lose to Germany in the finals.
Right. In fact, although he's in 86, he's the hand of God was the goal, but the goal that he scored against England when he dribbled past 5 was in 2002 was voted as the goal of the century.
No, it was in 86 where
he scored the hand of God, but then the goal of the century came in the second half when he dribbled past those five English players and put it across Peter Shilton. And many people that believe that he has changed the game forever. And one of them is Ravi Pushkar, director of football at FC Goa, who spoke to us earlier.
Yeah, Maradona was one of the true greats of, it's not possibly the greatest. The true reference point for certain skill that he brought into the game that not many people were aware of. He invented certain aspects of the game. And obviously being a protagonist at a World Cup the way he was, obviously will etch him in the memory of every footballer who grew up through those years. And for every footballer who grew through past into the future as well, he was always a reference as a player who was the greatest, if not the best, So obviously what he did on the pitch was incredible, because not just with the national team where he was successful at the biggest stage of them all in the club, in the FIFA World Cup, but also at the club level as well, the stuff he did for Napoli, the impact that he had on the other clubs that he went to across the world as well was, something long-standing. So definitely one of the giants of the game, if not the biggest of the giants of the game.
Yeah, Ravi, and Spanish being Maradona's mother tongue, and you being fluent in Spanish, say something in Spanish to the memory of this great footballer.
Bueno, Diego era uno de los mejores futbolistas que existió en este mundo. Creo que podemos considerar a él, tanto como Pelé, los dos mejores que han existido en el mundo del fútbol. Y creo que es una persona que vamos a recordar para siempre en el futuro, porque fue él que creó ciertas cosas en el campo que nadie hubiera visto en el pasado. Y por eso creo que va a seguir siendo una referencia para todos los que salen del mundo de fútbol, y para fútbol de tipo atacante va a ser una referencia de siempre.
Gracias, Ravi, and may the spirit of Maradona come down on your FC Goa team, and may they have a great season ahead.
Thanks, Xavier. Thank you.
Now, let's talk about, we can probably continue talking about Maradona for 2 hours, and that still might not be enough. But a recap about his younger days, with the Boca Juniors. He played them, and then he also coached them now towards the end. But
most importantly, before Boca Juniors, he also represented Argentina in the Junior World Cup in Japan, where he was the man of the tournament, and he took them to victory.
The first year.
And one of his best memories, he said, was playing for Boca Juniors, with whom he also ended his career. And the important thing is the influence of Maradona has been so much that Boca Juniors have gone worldwide, opening franchisees around the world. And interestingly, in Bengaluru, they have a franchisee, the only one franchisee of Boca Juniors, the famous Argentinian club, which we have in India. And we spoke to the technical director of Boca Juniors in Bengaluru, India, Daryl D'Souza, who himself is a former player. Let's listen in to what Daryl has to say.
I'm really speechless first, and could not believe myself when I heard the news, and I'm really shocked. I missed such a legend. The game has missed such a part of this football system, and unbelievable when we talk about football, we don't take the names of people like Maradona. So yeah, it's a big blow, and to global football, I feel personally, I'm grieved also inside. Childhood, since seeing him dribble those 5-6 players with ease, make football look easy. But when I grow older, I saw that this is not so easy as Maradona makes it play like he plays in the park with hoodwinking all these players. But a sensational player, player which left behind what is football, and that goal in 1986 against England is our memorable one in our childhood. Xavier, you might have also seen it, and that's such a memories and big loss to global football.
Yeah, Daryl, how does it feel to be coaching the Boca Juniors franchisee or the Boca Juniors school in Bengaluru? It's surely a matter of pride and satisfaction for you.
Absolutely, we have grown up with names like Pelé and Maradona and Ronaldo Luis from Brazil. and such a proud moment for me to join Boca Juniors, to join the history, such an history of club, having Maradona himself played, represented Boca Juniors, Argentina, and to be part of that plan. It's such a blessed thing for me, and to represent icons of Diego Maradona, or El Pibo, the golden kid, as Maradona was called in the world. It's really an honor, and I'm really touched by it. And to my kids also, my prayers in training today at the session, 1 minute silence was given, because we are so close to him. Players of young generation who are even 12, 16, 18 know what is Maradona, because in social media they have seen. They compare him and say, oh, Messi is like Maradona, because Messi himself idolizes and says that today what he is, his role model was Maradona. So that this generation also may not have seen him during, they were not born, but through social media they have that respect for Maradona. They have seen his goals, his leadership qualities, and what a human being he was on the pitch. That it is. And it's a proud moment to be part of Boca Juniors, Argentina, where Maradona himself played for. Yes.
We surely had some good times, some memorable times that the legend has left us with, and everybody has been paying tribute to Diego Maradona, right from Lionel Messi, who said that it's going to be a very sad day for all Argentines and for football, and Brazilian legend Pelé said that he lost a great friend after Maradona's death. And CR7 says, and called the Argentina legend an eternal genius.
Yes, absolutely. And around Goa, another person whom we spoke to, sports writer and educationist, who also said that he wouldn't mind his students missing some classes to watch Maradona videos. None other than Nagesh Sardesai.
We have lost one of the gems of the game of soccer. And he started his career in footballing terms at a very young age. He represented his country for nearly 91 occasions, scored 34 goals. But besides being a good footballer, he was also a good statesman. He was a statesman-like figure. He may not be in the political circles, but he has represented his country on a number of occasions at different fora, be it social, economic, sporting, all over the world. He had come down to India in Kolkata in the year 2008 for the inauguration of a sports academy there, and there were around 1 lakh fans to cheer him there. So he had following, and he has following the world over in footballing terms, coming from a very humble background from Buenos Aires, the capital of Argentina, which is
yes, the capital of Argentina is in mourning, and around the world people are mourning. The president of Argentina declared a 3-day state mourning in memory of Diego Armando Maradona, the famous captain and surely one of the greatest footballers of all time, and of his generation surely the greatest.
Yes, I'm sure it's going to be a wonderful memory, but thanks to everybody that we spoke to, thanks to many of you who have also sent us messages on the show, and I think Savio, you said you're going to wind up with
yes, there are many messages that came in, but I must tell them about the best message of the day, and that was all over social media throughout the day. That was from another Argentine great, a living legend, none other than Lionel Messi, who gave one line about Diego Maradona, besides speaking the inspiration or the way he inspired him. And Messi said, and I quote, "He leaves us but does not leave, because Diego is eternal."
Mm-hmm. Yes, forever. He'll always be a legend that we can look up to. Yes, rest in peace, should we say.
Yes, and always in memory and with all the love that we have for Diego Maradona, FM Rainbow completes this tribute to one of the greatest footballers the world has seen, and surely the 1986 World Cup, which is synonymous with Maradona.